Hey there, this is One Boom, and if you're like me, sometimes it's hard for you to put your finger on what makes you enjoy a video game. Once you're asked or confronted about it, you sort of stutter and stammer, I don't know, I guess it looks pretty, or the combat's fun, or the progression system's satisfying. With Modern Warfare, my answers would be pretty complex, but there's one thing that rings true no matter what. It rings as the consistent factor as to why I haven't put this game down since it came out over 10 months ago. This is the first Call of Duty I have played consistently past the month of June. Yeah, even games that I stood by like Infinite Warfare, I still think it's a great game, but I just couldn't get into its movement system anymore. The last game in the franchise that I played this much was Black Ops 3, and I think there is a single definitive reason as to why. At least there's only one that I can think of that's a definitive reason. It sure as hell isn't the matchmaking, and that is the Gunsmith. Gunsmith is a near flawless concept. Notice that I said concept. I'm not going to pretend that Modern Warfare nailed weapon customization down to a T, 100%. No. Modern Warfare's weapon customization is flawed in many ways, from attachments having hidden attributes, misleading stat charts, and an unfortunate amount of the attachments are just plain old useless. No, Modern Warfare does not have the best weapon customization in all of shooter history, but it has my favorite weapon customization in all of shooter history, because of the amount of options you're given. I've said this before, because Call of Duty is not the most complex shooter franchise on the market, you can really get a lot of miles out of simple things, simple concepts that are just fun to play around with. Sniper scopes on fully automatic assault rifles, conversion kits, taking the stock off a weapon and shortening the barrel and turning it into a PDW, stuff like that. I mean, taking the AUG and giving it 5.56 ammunition, a longer barrel, and a scope, and basically turning it into a competitive assault rifle. It's also been great for content creators in general. People love to see weird gunsmith combinations. People want to see you take the stock off an M13, use the blackout rounds, a lightweight suppressor, and a rifle scope. They want to see you do that because it's weird and you shouldn't be able to because it's not competitive, it's stupid, it's cheesy, but the game lets you. It gives me the feeling of being a kid and playing with my Nerf guns, putting different sights and different grips and different things on my guns to make them look kinda cool and tactical, or maybe make them just stupid looking or whatever. It was fun. If you had any of the Nerf Elite Blasters when you were a kid, did you not take the barrel off and put a scope on and say like, oh, I have a sniper pistol, you know? It was fun. And this game replicates that feeling of, if I had all of these attachments and all of these weapons in front of me, what kind of monstrosities could I create? Or what kind of combinations could I create that are competitive and really, really, truly viable? Like I said, it's great for content creators because they can show you how to make hidden weapons in Modern Warfare, how to turn the AK into an RPK, and people already know that they can go in and put on an LMG stock and a long barrel, but there's something so simplistic yet satisfying about it, something tactile about it despite it being in a menu. Just look at Nemsk's channel. Okay? He has done videos on how to make secret weapons in Modern Warfare that, yeah, anybody could figure out if they own the game and they just had the attachments in front of them. But people click on those videos because they're satisfying, they're fun. It's a new, interesting concept that I think more shooters should explore. I really hope that the next Battlefield game is modern day, it explores these concepts. The concept of being able to create one weapon out of another. The fact that the developers released the Fin LMG that can be put in 4 different configurations, essentially giving you 4 distinct experiences with a single addition to the game. The M4 and the M16 are both in the game. The MP5 and the MP5K are both in this game, hidden in Gunsmith. When I'm playing Modern Warfare, I think of different weird combinations that I could put together and have extra fun with. What makes the gun look cool? What makes it perform well? What makes it silly and unique? Those are things that add replayability to an otherwise pretty basic formula. I mean, so many people are enjoying Modern Warfare, even just going into the campy game mode that is TDM, they enjoy it. And I think one of the reasons that people have enjoyed Call of Duty for so long is class customization. But Modern Warfare has taken class customization and simplified it down to how it used to be, but took weapon customization and built it into something that, again, I want to see in more shooters. You might say that Modern Warfare has too many optics, it's quantity over quality, but optics are usually preference-based anyway. Most people are just fine with iron sights in Call of Duty games, so the optics being preference-based already is made so much better by the amount of options you have in Modern Warfare. How many different reflex sights do you need? Really you only need one, but it's so cool that I have like 5 different options when I want to have a 1x red dot. It's cool that some guns aren't very competitive until you put certain attachments on them, and you basically convert them into being a competitive weapon by increasing their range, lowering their recoil, converting the weapon even. I mean, ammo conversions are not the best thing that Modern Warfare did, just because they didn't implement it properly. I don't think conversion kits should take up an attachment slot, because certain guns with their conversion kits are worse versions of other weapons that do that thing anyway, because they do it by default. You do it by wasting an attachment slot. The AUG with 5.56 might be the slowest firing 5.56 gun in the game, but it is competitive. But the thing that holds it back really to me is that you only have 4 attachment options after you make it a 5.56 weapon. This is a problem with all of the conversion kits in the game. It usually turns the gun into something that another gun already does by default and doesn't waste an attachment slot to do so. Also, I don't think weapon perks should take an attachment slot. I think you should be able to pick a weapon perk for each one of your guns, plus 5 attachments. Also, I think you should be able to get rid of lethals and tacticals for extra attachments, which would cut down on lethal and tactical spam, which I think would make Modern Warfare a better game anyway. Gunsmith is far from perfect, but it's addicting and it's so replayable. There's so many different things you can do with Gunsmith. I think we should get better versions of Gunsmith in the future. But something I've noticed, it's a mentality around the next-gen consoles, it's a mentality around any new thing that comes out recently. I have a video I'm gonna do about the next-gen consoles and the same mentality, but here's the problem, right? Because Gunsmith in Modern Warfare is flawed, because they made mistakes when implementing it, because certain things aren't to everyone's liking, there are people out there that think they shouldn't bring back Gunsmith for later Call of Duty games. But Gunsmith isn't a binary decision. There are binary decisions in game development. Do I guarantee a player a lethal and tactical, or do I not? Do I make them have to give something up to have them? You know, that is a sort of binary decision. Do they spawn with them, or do they not spawn with them? Gunsmith is something a little bit more fluid. It's way more up to how it's implemented. Are the attachments balanced and useful? Do they show their actual stats and describe to the player what they actually do so they don't have to go to a YouTuber and find out that certain attachments are actually killing their weapon's range, like we had to do with Modern Warfare? Is it going to be limiting and kind of disappointing, or is it going to be expansive and potentially game-breaking because of how many things you can do to a single gun? Do the attachments have too many cons compared to the amount of attachments that have too many pros? There are so many things to consider that it's much more of a fluid decision. It's not simply have Gunsmith, but don't because it's broken. Gunsmith is not a singular entity. We can see improvements on it. Modern Warfare was the first edition of Gunsmith in a Call of Duty game, so let's cut it a little bit of slack for that. Of course it's not perfect, but neither was Black Ops 2's Pick 10 system. It wasn't perfect, also was the first implementation of the concept. It's weird seeing people say they shouldn't put time into adding this really cool concept because they fucked it up before, instead of saying, I hope they add this concept better than it was before. I think a refined, better Gunsmith would be an amazing feat for Call of Duty as a franchise, and going forward, I just think it should be a staple. It added so much replayability, so much viewer interaction with content creators, so much more information to give audiences. It's such a great feature. It just needs to be refined and improved. Why can't we improve things instead of dismissing them because they were flawed? I mean, really, what's the point of buying new pieces of PC hardware, new consoles, new video games if they're not learning from their previous mistakes? And also, I know I'm gonna get a lot of comments saying that Gunsmith has already been confirmed to not return. No, it hasn't been confirmed to not return. It's been leaked, it's been rumored, but can we stop? Can we stop with this? I see it in my stream chat, I see it in my comment section. Boom, they already said they're not gonna do that. And then I look into it, and it's some leaker on some site, it's some Reddit post, it's some leaked image. It's not a real thing. I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm saying I'm gonna wait until the company that makes the game says it's right. Until Treyarch comes out and says specifically no Gunsmith in Black Ops Cold War, there's no reason for me to assume that it's not coming. I mean, they added it to COD Mobile, they know it's a popular feature. Infinity Ward continues to take advantage of the feature with guns like the Finn. I don't see them just dismissing it and going back to the Pick 10 attachment system, where you get like 3 attachments, or even the Black Ops 3 system, Infinite Warfare system, where you have upwards of 6 attachments, but you have to take away perks. I don't see them just going back to that. But if they do, let's just say they do, I would say keep the concept of conversion kits and just full weapon reworks in those attachments, because then you basically have Gunsmith that does just end up taking something away from your class, like a perk or a lethal and tactical, and I don't really hate that concept. I just hope they keep some of the weirdness, so I can put a variable zoom scope on my AK, or a bayonet on my M16, or a thermal sight on a shotgun. Something kind of like that would be a lot of fun to play around with, so I hope they do get creative with it so that the multiplayer is replayable and fun. And it would make sense, the original Black Ops had a shit ton of variety for the time in terms of different optics and underbarrel attachments. You had a lot of choices. You could change all your reticle colors and shapes, and it was the best weapon customization we had seen up to that point. So hopefully we continue that trend with Cold War, and we get better weapon customization than we've seen in previous COD games. Either way, this video went on longer than I wanted it to. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please use my link down below to get 20% off plus free shipping on your Manscaped order. Your women will love you, your men will love you, more importantly, will love yourself for trying it. See you when I see you, goodbye.